Test. There we go. So 6 minutes to present, and then 15 minutes for Q&A. We will have mics, so raise your hand. We will come around with the mic for you to ask the question. And also feel free to social media. This is how we're going to spread the word to get people. So we have 1 million cups ICT for our Twitter handle. Use hashtag something's brewing ICT and Date Night Genius. What is your guys' Twitter handle? They don't have one. Okay, so they don't have one yet. They do have they have a Facebook page. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the folks from Date Night Genius. They'll probably talk about this, but this project, this company, was actually developed at Accelerate the Heartland that we had back in October. So they actually created this startup in a matter of, 8 hours? And it's been pretty cool to see it happen. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up the 3 co-founders of this organization, and it's going to be Benny, Yolanda, and Austin. All right, let's give them a round of applause.
Good morning, Wichita. How are you? Man, where's your coffee? So as we stated, my name is Yolanda Adams. This is Austin Crane, Benny Bowden. And we actually have 5 co-founders. We also have Seth Etter and Kenton Hansen. We have 5 co-founders, also Seth Etter and Kenton Hansen, together, and we created Date Night Genius at Accelerate the Heartland. I'm just going to keep going. All right. So the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics creates a time use survey for all of working individuals between the ages of 25 to 54 with children. And there's many other segments. But what it does is it actually shows the respondents and the way that they allocate their time in a day. So as you can see, there are many different uses of time. So we have to eat and sleep, of course, to be able to survive. We all work, whether it's from an entrepreneurial perspective or we work for someone else. But then that just leaves small amounts of time for you to be able to determine if it's a need that you're going to fulfill or if it's a want that you want to fulfill. And if your day is anything like mine, I'm trying to fit 30 hours into a 24-hour day, and it appears as you see, that work takes up a lot of my time. And I'm sure entrepreneurs can understand the amount of time that you're continuously spending in work to get that initial project, that initial entrepreneurial idea off the ground and running. And then you have your kids. Maybe you don't have kids, but there's still so many demands that we have in a day that we have to give our time to. So it leaves less time on a day-to-day basis, on a monthly basis, to be able to plan the things that you want to stay connected to the people that you care about most. Hence, we came up with Date Night Genius. So what exactly is Date Night Genius? Think of Groupon meets Birchbox for a date night. Makes sense now, right? I mean, it really brought it to life. So we're a organization that provides monthly date packages, and it is sent to you. So if you think about Dillon's, they have a service where now you can go online, you get your groceries, all you have to do is come and pick it up. Walmart does the same thing. Birchbox does the same thing, right? And so everything is delivered to your mailbox, and you receive a dollar for dollar value. So your subscription amount of $50, you receive $50 in value for your date. But in addition to that, the amount that you may not be thinking of, that additional opportunity cost, is a free curated experience that our master datologist plans for you. And we try to highlight local businesses. So again, we started in October, and in our first month we had 47 subscribers. It looks like it's not moving. There we go. So in our first month, we had 47 subscribers. In our second month, we've now moved to 50 subscribers. There has been a net increase in customers. However, we did have a little bit of churn. And then we're even able to provide additional sales revenue to our organization through advertising to our customers. And so Today I am challenged. I apologize. Some key financial indicators, though, that show that maybe we're moving in the right direction with our business is in October, we had an initial investment of a little over $100 in our software and infrastructure. And to date, we have accelerated that 6 times, and we have a return on investment of 600%. If you see the dark blue line, that's our revenue. The light blue line are our expenses. So as you can see, we have net profit at a rate of $6.25 per subscriber, which is actually very much in line with Groupon today, not Groupon when it started. And overall, we have a 12% profit margin. So you don't have to just take it from me. You can take it from the feedback and customers that we have.
Thank you, Yolanda. My name is Austin Crane. I'm a software developer for Date Night Genius, and I'm going to talk to you about the feedback that we've gotten so far with Date Night Genius. I want to take a look at a number here that we have. 30% of our subscribers have never heard of the places that we've taken them to. That means it's a great marketing opportunity for our partners. Also, we want to talk about the vibe. All the vibe, the feedback, the great things people are saying. We can't have any more of the positive feedback that we've gotten so far. People are talking about us on social media, Facebook, Twitter. And now I'm going to pass it off to Benny to talk about growth and scaling opportunities.
So I'm going to fly because we got just a little bit of time left. Growth and scaling opportunities and goals for the future that we have. We want to hit 300 subscribers by the end of Q1 2017. That's a goal that we've set. We have plans to enter several new markets, whether it's nearby or far away. If it's nearby, obviously we can go in, make a few calls, set up partnerships, and make it happen, like in Kansas City per se, which we're really wanting to get into quick. But then we have other places like, for example, we've set up a potential partnership in Orlando where there's someone already doing something similar to what we're doing, but they don't have a platform or a service or anything they offer. They're just a blogger, basically. So we want to license this to people like that have knowledge and passion for their community and getting awesome date night ideas to their local community, license that to them, and help them get it off the ground with our platform. We want more destination partners. A destination partner is a business or restaurant here in town that we might send our people on a date to. So if you have a potential idea, or if your business is a great place for that, let us know. We'd love to talk to you. Information partners. So we have created several different opportunities for people to create more value and offer more value to our customers. So every week or every month we pack and fulfill. We send this all out in the mail, so we can insert things, put things in there, basically advertisements, but we want it to be a little bit more informative than a traditional ad. Last but not least, we want to create a potential opportunity for our destination partners that would make them date night approved. That would be our stamp of approval that would give them kind of a little extra push of marketing materials and ad value. And also you might notice that Date Night Genius is approved by Spider-Man himself. So I don't know, it's weird. We've got a couple other things we're working on, but we don't have time for that. We're Date Night Genius.
You're going to change out the cable? He's going to change out the cable. So maybe ask the first question is, what are your future goals?
You mean these?
Yes.
Some other goals and features we're working on. We want to help expand. We want to expand our product. So whether it's customized dates, cheaper plans, design your own date. We want to give coupons out for discounts or packages that we can put together. We want to expand what we're doing. We also want to simplify fulfillment. Right now, we're stuffing envelopes and sending them by snail mail. There's several ways that we can automate that, and we would love to continue moving down that path, because the more we do that, the more it helps us drive down our cost and raise revenue per subscriber. Also, we have tons more opportunities to create more advertising touch points and opportunities to bring on more of those information partners.
Question here in the second row.
Can you give us an example of what comes in a box and where you would send a couple?
Sure. So for our first date night, what you would receive is an envelope. Excuse me. It provides you with where to go, some additional activities to do during your date, and then there'll be a gift card for the amount that you would spend at a restaurant or whether it's an activity that we plan for the month. So our first date night was the Anchor, and it was also was Reverie this month? Donut Hole, thank you. And then we also recommended a walk down the Douglas Designer District and look at the murals.
Question in the back row.
Why did you select Spider-Man, and did you get the rights to use him?
That was completely random. No, we don't have rights to use Spider-Man. As I was looking for an approved stock logo, I found that Google Images. Shameless little, yeah, it was a joke.
Another question here in the back row.
What specific steps are you taking in order to customize this package for each of your customers?
Right now, it's not customized. So right now, everyone gets the same date. So like she said, we offered something like going to the Anchor, the Donut Hole, and then a walk down the Douglas Design District. What we want to do to take that to the next level, though, at first, is create more of an experience. So it's not just a suggestion, oh, hey, here's a restaurant, a dessert place, and an idea. We want to create an experience where it's a night that is planned out for you. We literally tell you the things to do. We have ideas like creating a playlist where we have a Date Night Genius playlist on Spotify or wherever your favorite place to stream music is at, and you can play that music throughout the night. There's tons of ideas that we're trying to incorporate to make it more of a plug-and-play experience where you don't have to worry too much, but you get more than just a suggestion, and we leave it up to you to make it fun. Like, we want to make real fun experiences for our customers to go and do. Eventually, though, we would love to be able to customize maybe even down to the specific subscriber, but that's going to take a lot of work and research as we scale and grow the company.
Yeah, I would like to add to it. We are also giving them a custom experience for Wichita. This is a big thing for Wichita as to see the hidden gems. So as far as custom date nights, we are showing how Wichita can be an awesome place to go on a date.
Back here. So you guys say you're customizing this. Is this customizing like from your personal experiences on date nights?
So far it has been, yes. We are trying to reach out to several people in town with small local restaurants that we can find more opportunities. Try them out ourselves. Of course, we'll try them out before we send anybody out there. So anybody with restaurants that are interested, come on over.
Question to your left.
My question, Benny, is do you create a profile for each of your subscribers? Is that in the works? It sounds like that maybe that's not there now, but is that in the works to be able to customize, do a better job of customizing?
Currently, no. All we're doing is taking payments, basically. But in the future, we will have the opportunity to capture information like your specific interests and specific to you and who you are, maybe even like you and your spouse's name, so that we can start to incorporate things. We've had ideas like figuring out how to let the business know ahead of time. This is way down the road, but figuring out how to let the business know who's coming and when so that they can be welcoming you with some sort of customized experience where you're showing up and they know your names. Obviously, there's a lot involved with that, and so we don't want to jump out too far and cause any problems or run into issues, so we're treading lightly in that direction.
in the back.
Okay, as a restaurant owner, what kind of commitment are you asking from the restaurant to provide, and what kind of promotions are you giving to the restaurant in return?
So part of being a partner with Date Night Genius, the restaurant would receive cash flow up front, so it's not like it's a receivable later, which is a benefit. From there, as current, we're just asking for the commitment of the one package that we provide. So, for example, it may have been a $35 value, so providing that person with that much value. In the future, we have thought about, maybe having customers that are having partners with us that are willing to have a 6-month commitment or something like that, but that's not quite yet figured out. Sorry, what was the other part of your question? So right now, the promotion is basically the individual the subscriber now learns of this new restaurant, and they can go there now anytime as long as they, like the experience. We are considering, though, the date night approved, like Benny had talked about, where we have specific restaurants that we say have been part of the Date Night Genius package, and so it's date night approved, whether that's a sticker or some type of other publicity manner that we provide that.
To your right in the back. So can you explain exactly how you make money? Because I'm not exactly sure. And then as a second follow-up to that, 12% profit margins? That doesn't seem very thick. Are you going to do anything to change that?
Awesome question. So up front, we have subscribers go to the website and they say, yes, I want a date night package, so cash comes in up front. And we don't have any lagging receivables, et cetera, to work with. From that subscription amount, we now know the amount of customers that will have visiting each restaurant or whatever place. We work internally with the restaurants to provide a discount for the volume that the customer would, that the restaurant would receive. And that's kind of like our business model. So the 12% profit margin that we currently are experiencing, some of that is just being able to utilize Innovar for different services, and the discount that we receive from the customer, from the restaurants for the volume.
Question here in the middle.
Have you considered putting together event packages like we often do when we have conferences in town, such as something that would be designed for symphony night or music theater night or one of the shows that's in town or whatever, where you get you gather together information and or tickets and or whatever for the event, for the dinner, for the after show, which might include even, where to park, that kind of thing. We do that when we bring conferences into town, and it's a model that seems to work fairly well. And so could you possibly work off of that kind of model for a type of event night, date night kind of situation?
Yeah, so we have a scaling opportunity, obviously, for a lower price point and a higher price point that could definitely fit that. And we have talked about it. Whether it's maybe Mosley Seat Melodrama or some sort of event or anything like that, we have thought about that for sure. Obviously, we have to set it up and schedule it, and it's a lot more work currently. So we have to set up the infrastructure for that. We've also talked about maybe creating a smaller plan that maybe high schoolers or college students can go to for half the price it is now. Maybe it's just go get coffee at Reverie or something like that. So.
I'll add to that. So currently with our flat model where everyone gets the same date, it would be insanely hard to say, hey, there's an event this night, go to it. Because we don't know what the availability of our customers is right now. So I think that would be something that's going to come along with some of that customization we'll do. Maybe there's a way that we can vet or get a survey of our customers to find out when are you available, or would you be available this night, can you commit, and then that specific date goes out to those people. There's a lot of different ways we could do it.
I'm over here. I don't know which way that is to you guys, but I am one of your customers, so thanks. This has been fun. But now I'm going to poke you because everyone's being too nice. So one of the challenges I had with subscribing to this is we have a monthly budget, me and my wife have, for spending money, eating out. And so when I thought about this, I was like, okay, I will give you $50 because you're going to give me something in return. And when I received it, I got $50 worth of gift cards. So basically, I'm an American. I love freedom. So when I started, I could spend that $50 anywhere I wanted. And then when I ended, I had to spend it where you guys told me, which it was great because we love the anchor and the donut hole. The challenge was, am I getting very much out of it? And I think one of the things you mentioned is that you had a 40 or 60% churn. I can't remember which one it was. Regardless, it was very high. Why do you think that churn was there? And do you think you're providing enough value to the end user over yourselves and the restaurant?
Did we have a number on churn? We did?
Yeah. So the feedback that we received on those where we did have churn was more around, I just wanted to try it out one time to see if I liked it. It wasn't necessarily some of the challenges that you are mentioning, but what we try to do, though, is minimize the amount of time that you have to plan. So like when I think about me, I planned my date night literally driving home on the day that we had said we were going to go on a date, which turns into movie and dinner. And so we want to provide an experience, which is something that is going to take time. So you have to now value your time to see if that's worth what we're giving to you for free. Because even though you gave us $50, we're giving you $50 back.
So the other thing to add to that is there's a lot of stress when it comes to planning a date. So what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? That is a huge, huge problem for people. It causes stresses. It causes fights for a whole night. Like, we are trying to help take away that stress and just say, oh, you just let us take care of it. We'll take care of it for you. You're already committed, so you're going to go do it, and we can really make sure that it's going to be a great opportunity for you. So that's the value that we're going to be able to give you.
Question to your right.
I have a couple of questions. So if I wanted to explain a little bit more about your packages, do you have like multiple, if I want to take multiple dates, or 1 month I want to take something really nice for an anniversary? So that's one question, if you can talk a little bit more about that. The other one, if your goal is to have, say, 500 subscribers, how are you going to fit them all into a restaurant if you're having one date?
Yeah, so currently we have this one plan that goes out at a time of the month, and you do it whenever you want. Obviously, that doesn't scale well when we have a restaurant that only has 12 seats. So what we plan to do, or what we have several opportunities to fix this. One is to create series of dates and say, oh, so you subscribed maybe a month before the other person did, so we're going to send you on a different date, book you with a different place, set up an actual time for you to go, and have the restaurant know when you're going to be there, give you a custom experience. Just like Benny said, we'll be able to tell the restaurant, hey, your customer blah, blah, blah is going to be here. Would you like to give them a custom experience? We should be able to give them that opportunity. What was the first one? The first question? Yeah. So that's another part of our scaling ability. So we have the ability to have a lower price point, a higher price point, or even multiple dates. So those are way two different things as far as scaling goes. So we're going to have to figure out what we would like to do first, but we definitely see that as a growing opportunity. There's several different ways we could go with this.
Hi, I'm the guy who held the cord, and I helped start. I want to add two things to your question. We do have subscribers now who have subscribed multiple times, so they receive multiple packages for multiple dates in 1 month. The other thing is we've done the math, and we believe that we can support 1,000 subscribers at pretty much any restaurant now, concurrently with a flat date profile. So we can send 1,000 packages to the same place at any given time, and then that would mean essentially that you'd have 1,000 people, so 250 people per weekend over 3 days is going to be 73 people per night. Divide that by like 4 hours, and you're going to end up with like 20 people per time. That's 10 tables. So 10 tables at a time, that's pretty much any restaurant. 1,000 subscribers, no problem. Thanks, I'm going to go back there now.
Well, to clarify, that guy is Kenton. This is, if you don't know, Kenton, Yolanda, Austin, and myself, we all are working with Innovar. And Seth is working not with Innovar, but separately, our subject matter expert. Basically, this was a stunt that we did as a startup in a day. So 8 hours, we built this. We built the foundation of this in 1 day at Accelerate the Heartland, and Jake explained that. But I wanted to explain the connection in case that was confusing.
He's our secret sauce for the dates. Subject matter expert, yeah.
Do you guys have a money-back guarantee? So say if I go on a date and she breaks up with me because of the date?
We are working on terms and conditions.
Left of center.
Hi, I love this plan. However, another stress factor for me with date night is childcare. So I didn't know if you guys had discussed partnering with any kind of local babysitting ring. I don't know if that exists, but there's a new idea for you.
Yeah. So what was there's an affiliate program that has a list of babysitters around, I think it's around the country, that we can actually get profit of for scheduling a babysitter. So that's another way we can actually grow it. We can actually have revenue by the affiliate program. So yeah, we have that in the making. It's just not there quite yet. Yeah.
So you guys said you built this in a day in, 6 hours? That's impressive. My question is, how many people did you have working on it? Did their payroll count towards the $100 that you said it took to get started? And 2, how many people do you need to support 1,000 user base? And did you count payroll into your profits that you're showing us, the 12%?
So as an entrepreneur, a lot of us do not account for the time and that the value of our time. So right now our profits do not include any type of payroll. Being that we all work for Innovar, or contracted through Innovar, Innovar has a relationship to recoup costs that would be valued as our time. So your question was how many? So the 5 of us, right? 2 developers. Benny is our marketing person, and I'm just finance and operations. So I try to make sure that we have everything we need. Right. And because we're a software-based company, we're able to easily scale with the same 2 developers. Right now we have 1 student that actually does the stuffing fulfillment, and she'll be able to still handle the 1,000. So it's scalable.
Yeah, and we have some automation infrastructure that we need to put in place. Currently, we don't have all of the infrastructure that we need to automate some of the processes, but we definitely can do that, and we can do it relatively quickly. Yeah. Also, one of the bigger overheads is the actually shipping and postage and all that. One of the things we've actually just put out there is to hopefully have an app that we can electronically deliver these coupons, which would really save us on our bottom line and increase our salary. So yeah, so there is a problem with that, but it's not that big of a deal because we can really easily change to an app or automate some of the processes.
And with the final question, what can we as a Wichita community do to help you?
So we want to know, what is your favorite Wichita date destination? Like someone mentioned, like is this just all experiences that we've had and we're just trying to dump all of our, halfway good dates and just say that, like, okay, we're going to send everyone on these halfway good dates. No, we want to know the cream of the crop, best places in Wichita, around Wichita, experiences you've already had maybe that we could expound upon, maybe make better. We would love to hear it, so come talk to any of the 3 or total 5 of us. Kenton and Seth are also involved too, so talk with us. And then we have something to give back today. We're offering 10% off of the first month. That didn't update. We're offering 10% off of the first month to all signups or gifts. We have the ability for you to gift this to a significant other or your favorite couple. So 10% off that first month if you subscribe anytime today, not just before noon today, but anytime today. And the coupon code for that is 1MCICT, and you'll just go to datenightgenius.com to do that.
Round of applause. Guys, you guys aren't done yet. Come here. We got gifts. We have gifts. Well, as a token of our appreciation for coming and doing 1 million cups and also providing us with a 10% discount code, that is awesome. I want each of you guys to have a one-of-a-kind million cups mug. I know a few of them may have one, so now you guys actually, I'll let you decide what you get to do with these if you guys actually already have a mug. So here you go. Well, you got a new one now. Thank you. Well, and thank you very much. Just give me another round of applause. And I'm going to bring up Mr. Kenton Hansen. He is going to have some announcements for you guys, and then we'll bring up our next presenter. So let's welcome Kenton.
Thanks, everyone. As always, I'm here to talk about the things that are happening in Wichita this week. There are Study Hall is actually, I'm glad this came up. DevICT has started a thing called Study Hall. So if you're interested in learning to code, which is probably just as important as a second language at this point in history, they have people who are there to help you with that. It's held at the Labor Party, 7 to 9 p.m., December 19th. And then there are a ton of other events that are coming up. Here they all are. As always, you can find them at startupwichita.com. There's an events tab there, and you can see any event that is going to be coming up. I do want to make you guys aware that this is the last 1 Million Cups event in 2016. So if you're next Wednesday morning, you're waking up and you're thinking, man, I should go to 1 Million Cups, don't. Just go to a coffee shop. They sell coffee there. And then ask a random person there to tell you about what they're doing. Tell them they have 6 minutes, and then you ask them 20 minutes of Q&A. And it's just basically 1 Million Cups on your own. Completely extemporaneous, these jokes are. I just pull them out of my back pocket. And that's the end of the announcements. Okay, I'm going to let Jake use his computer to bring up the next presentation. And presenter, thanks.
Well, as always, we do give out something to the crowd, and we actually have a few gifts that are going to make sense after our next presenter comes up and presents. So she wanted me to ask the question, does anybody in here, are they currently wearing a Southern Tide branded apparel right now? Anybody that raise a hand? Anywhere Southern Tide? Anybody wearing Southern Tide? You got to raise your hand if you're wearing it. Or do you actually, or do you own a Southern Tide apparel outfit? Okay, so Michael, she's not liking you right now, our next presenter, but for that you are actually going to get a 1 Million Cups mug. And you also have to tell us why you own a Southern Tide apparel outfit.
I don't know, we like it.
Hopefully you'll like this better.
Well, I'll let her hand out her other things after her presentation, but let's introduce Lacey Leatherman with Heartland Heritage.
Well, thank you, Jacob. I am so excited to be here this morning. It's been fun over this year to be here and hear all of your pitches and just kind of become part of this community, so I am thrilled to be here, especially for the last one. I was here for the very first one this year, and Heartland Heritage was still kind of this crazy idea that I was hoping I could put together. And get it on? And now, so I'm so excited to say that it's not this crazy idea that I am dreaming about putting together. You can go shop now. So what is Heartland Heritage? But before we go into it, I'm going to tell you a little backstory on myself, and then it'll kind of all make sense because I hope that my story is also some of your stories. So I was born and raised in Mulvane, Kansas, and then after Mulvane, I went to Kansas State University, and then after, go Cats, and then after Kansas State, I ended up in Mississippi for a couple years, down in South Mississippi, and got familiar with some of the Southern lifestyle brands, and then ended up back in Wichita, and decided that we needed our own lifestyle brand. So Heartland Heritage is a clothing brand that tells the story of the Midwest lifestyle. And usually you're supposed to start a presentation with the funny, but I don't have the skills that Kenton and Jacob do. So I'm going to start with a story. I was about 7th grade, and this will probably date me a little bit, but I had to have the Doc Martens and the Pepe jeans and the buckle bag to put my track shoes in. And I remember getting in a fight with my dad. Sorry. This is so embarrassing. But he said, I'll never forget the disappointment on his face, and I carry it with me still. And he said, that's not who you are. That doesn't make you. Where you're from makes you. The town you were raised in makes you. Your family, your friends, your values, your traditions, and your beliefs, that's what makes you. And so, fast forward, how is that all relevant? I really realized, with the marketing, with the Southern Tide, fast forward, and I realized that the branding for this is that clothes make a person. I was like, well, that doesn't resonate with me. Clothes don't make you who you are. But when I drilled down, I realized that clothes do tell your story. And so Heartland Heritage is the story for us. So, a doctor, you think scrubs, somebody in a suit, obviously banking, that kind of stuff. So that is why, that's my why for Heartland Heritage. So it's on here. So where do we start? So coming into this, I had 0 industry experience in clothing. And when I say 0, I mean I liked to shop, but that was it. No fabric knowledge, but that has actually turned positive because now I think I really coming into it with an open mind and not knowing anything. I didn't have any preconceptions, and I really could just build this from the ground up and network how I wanted. I went to some trade shows in Vegas. My first one was completely overwhelming. I was like a fish out of water. I've done a ton of networking, and that's really been the biggest key to my success with getting Heartland Heritage off the ground so far, is just the amount of networking that I've done, not only in Wichita, but at trade shows in Las Vegas, and then also I've got a consultant in New York now that's really helping, and I wouldn't know any of those people or have those resources if I hadn't put myself out there and gone to those places. Research, a ton of research, almost too much. I would stop everybody in a Southern Tide shirt that wasn't up here, and so I almost burnt myself out kind of on the research piece, but I really convinced myself if it was something that I wanted, I was sure other people were looking for it also. And then really I just had to figure out what I wanted this to look like. Heartland Heritage has really got to be a balance because that's one thing in the Midwest that we have that I don't feel like a lot of other places have. It's just that balance between country road and the country club that so many of us fall into. And so really capitalizing on the uniqueness of that, and then brand positioning has been a little tough. So what this is going to look like kind of down the road, I want it to look like Filson, but still be a little J. Crew, and kind of everywhere in between. That's where we're going. I've really tried to surround myself with really good people who know what they're doing to kind of help me through some of this. And then I've built the business plan to really execute the equation that the Southern lifestyle brands have been so successful with. And if you're not familiar with some of the brands like Southern Tide, Southern Proper, Southern Marsh, Southern Point Company, Collard Greens, Over Under Clothing, there's a handful of them. They have started and do a great job at telling the Southern story, so that's number one. Gone into independent retailers, so a lot of them are in 300 plus retailers all over the South, and so that's our business model. They've capitalized on the college market first to gain some traction. That is in the Heartland Heritage Plan. And then just really leveraging the market because it's different. And, oh, sneak peek. So we've launched. You can all go on your phones and shop after this. So now what? So we are going to develop products that really make a statement. And by that, we just don't want to become another t-shirt company. And how are we going to do that? So there's a lot of fun technology out there like Nanotex and Krypton, polyamide fabric. That's for swim trunks, and it just doesn't get wet. You jump in the lake and you jump out, and your shorts are dry. So I really feel like because there's so much competition out there, I need to stay on top of some of that stuff. Design products with intention. I've got a Tex Wax hat coming. My time up. Got a Tex Wax hat coming, and I designed it without the top button so that when you're shooting, the ear protection fits snug, doesn't hurt. So some of that kind of stuff, I think you can make it authentic and then really execute our Field to Fairway brand promise.
Let's give a round of applause. I'll ask the first question. What type of products do you currently have out now?
So right now we've got t-shirts. I brought some of them that are back there. So hats, a really great fitting hat, t-shirts, long sleeve, short sleeve t-shirts, koozies, sunglass straps. We've got car decals. And it didn't make it in the presentation, but I've got Grizzly brand coolers that should be here today. I have my fingers crossed. And we've got like a 20-ounce Yeti type grip cup. Grizzly coolers are like Yeti, only better. They're handmade in Iowa. And so I had to have them because obviously it's Midwest. So.
You're in the front row.
Are you an online platform or have you gone retail?
So great question. That kind of fits into the business model that these Southern companies have executed. I don't know what percentage it's going to work out to down the road. So right now we're online. We have e-commerce. But the goal is to be in the 300 retail stores all across the Midwest. So I never want to have my own brick and mortar. That's not in the game plan at this point. But that will be, it's an option down the road, obviously. So online now and then in stores that are already open. That's the goal for next year.
Okay, lately I've been seeing on Facebook and stuff like that these companies that are clothing deals where they'll pick like fashion designer type thing. They're picking a shirt, a shorts. Anyway, they're picking out an outfit and they're like a subscriber deal, whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself being able to put something like that together with your e-commerce solution to where I could get a Heartland outfit once a month or whatever else?
Down the road, once we develop some, obviously pants, swim trunks, that kind of stuff, definitely an option. I know those are super handy. But right now, we don't have something like that. I wouldn't mind putting Heartland Heritage in some of those subscription-type boxes as part of a package. But right now, not available, but I'll work on it.
To your left.
Great presentation.
Thanks, Trevor.
Just curious, how do you acquire market share here? Because there's one of you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning to door knock every single retailer? Are you planning to exhibit at Magic? How do you get your product into stores?
Okay, I'll break that up into two questions. One, let's talk about market share, because I think I'm really going to gain two pieces of the market share. One is the people that are buying Southern Tide already, just because it's the only thing out there. And then I think my second batch of customers is going to come from the people who haven't bought it because it didn't tell their story, but now have an option. Going back to the piece. So I am planning on being in Chicago for their men's show this spring, which would be for fall of 2017 stuff. And that's really the easiest and most efficient way to be picked up by retailers. I have always been the big salesy, big idea type person. And so the sales piece is what I wanted to get to. So I'm excited about that. So those shows, kind of prevent me from door knocking, and then a lot of it will be just connecting with the community. I got an email on Monday when I was trying to finish up all this stuff, and I really needed the email, and it was from a sophomore at Illinois State University. And he had reached out to me, and I haven't done a lot of social marketing yet, social media, not a lot of marketing, but he sent me a nice email and said he would love to represent Heartland Heritage. Obviously at Illinois State, he was looking for a brand to represent as part of a campus rep program, and all he could find was Southern Tide, Southern Marsh, and it didn't resonate with him. And he reached out, so I said, you can be my first campus rep. So I'm also going to leverage the college market to kind of get into some of those college towns. So then I'll have people knocking on those doors and those stores for me.
In the back to your right. Hi, Lacey. It's Kenton.
Hey.
Let's promise to be friends after this question, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
great. I don't get it. Why do we need Heartland Heritage? What kind of person is like, I need this, and why do they need it?
Okay, so Heartland Heritage is filling the gap. So it's going to fit that place in your wardrobe, hopefully. Tailgate or tree stand, anywhere in between. So one of the stories, so my boyfriend, we were getting ready to go somewhere, and he had on some nice linen shorts and leather loafers. And I was like, what shirt are you going to put on? He didn't need a polo. And I was like, oh, great. Then the options were Nike, Under Armour, a 5K run walk, and college football. And I was like, nope, not happening. So Heartland Heritage is that kind of middle of the road, that balance. If you don't need to dress up, you're not wearing your Nike, Heartland Heritage is going to be what tells your story in that casual, traditional space in your closet.
Question in the, oh, never mind. Question in the back.
Okay, guess it's me. I heard something earlier about a product from Iowa. My question is, and I apologize if I missed, where are you manufacturing your products?
Right.
Has that been difficult to
Yes.
establish that type of thing, U.S. made versus overseas?
Yes. Way more difficult than I thought going into this with zero industry experience. That has been the biggest problem. So I'm proud to say the T-shirts are 100% grown and sewn, made in America. Being a little small-town girl from Kansas, I was like, how can I have stuff made overseas? And then it's my money, and I started the sourcing process. And it was just me. I actually visited some factories here in the United States, and it just wasn't feasible. I had to move some stuff overseas to have the higher profit margins to keep my T-shirts made in America, because I'm like making nothing on those. So I'm going to source as much here, like the car decals are made in America. I'm going to try to keep, I'm looking at the button downs and the polos are coming soon. I'm looking at American-made manufacturers for those. So for me, it's really about having the best quality product, no matter where that comes from. So down the road, there's some great hunting jackets made in Europe. So I'm going to try, obviously, to be American-made, but open to getting the best stuff.
To your left.
What's your price point for your products? And
the price point's already been set. I'm going into stores right beside Southern Tide, Southern Marsh. So the long sleeve T-shirts are $38, the hats are $28, short sleeve T-shirts are $32. So I'm $1 or $2 less than some of the American-made stuff. I'm going to introduce the higher end, pinpoint button downs. High end, I'm looking at $95 if those are American made. $65 for a polo, $72 for a polo, right in there.
In the front.
What about women's apparel? Are you looking into anything like that? Because right now it looks like, excuse me, you're cutting your whole thing in half.
Right. So I started with men's, and I'm glad I did because it's easiest kind of break into. I never wanted to design clothes. I never wanted to be a clothes designer, and so if I'm giving you guys a great button down and a great polo that wears well and washes well and functions well, I can use that market kind of as a foundation before I get into the women's, the lifestyle stuff, some more of the accessories, kids eventually. So it's going to be a lifestyle brand that I've just chosen to start with men's because it seemed to be the easiest entry point, I guess.
Can I buy your stuff offline somewhere right now?
Yeah, good question. Well, let me get there. I'll answer your question. Two more slides. Well, wrong way. So before I go, one more slide. So some of the stuff we have coming, before I answer Jacob's question, I'm excited to introduce a partnership with Smathers and Branson, And this stuff is going to come spring of 2017. So think graduation gifts and Father's Day. So Smathers and Branson is a company that makes fine needlepoint leather accessories. They have been in J. Crew, partnered with the Masters through the KU stuff on there for you. So we are having some Heartland Heritage. I'm going to do the wallets, probably the coasters, and a koozie, and that will be here spring. But to answer your question offline, you can get Heartland Heritage stuff this Saturday. We are going to be in Johnston's. It's going the right way on this. One more. So Saturday, we're doing a launch party and pop-up shop at Johnston's on the east side. That has kind of been the goal this last year and a half as I've tried to get this stuff started. So we're going to have beer, wine, a little happy hour from 3 to 6. I'll have all the inventory pretty much will be there. So come, shop, say hi. I would love to see you.
Question here in the second row. Don't necessarily need to know all the specifics, but how are you doing in sales so far, and how long have you been actually fully operational?
So fully operational, about 6 hours. The sales have been good. It's kind of just been background stuff. People that knew I was starting wanted to get some stuff. They weren't going to be in town this weekend, and so I've had a few orders come through already. But really, we're launching today and then this weekend. So check back.
Hi. What's the demographic that you're after? I see a lot of college-related things. Is this a young 20 to 30 crowd? 20 to 30
Great question. The demographic has been one of the hardest things for me to nail down in the beginning because it wasn't after a specific age or an income or a gender. For me, it was somebody that resonated with, when I was gone away from Kansas, coming home and driving through my little small town, that feeling. So it's more of a persona, somebody that identifies with Heartland values and beliefs. I'm actually just starting with the college market because they're early adapters and I need that revenue because they'll pick it up quick and they're already used to the lifestyle brands, to use them as a springboard to jump into the higher end stuff. I have to start there.
And I believe you have some giveaways, don't you?
Sure did.
No, you have your stickers.
Okay, so I didn't plan a giveaway. Now you're putting me on the spot. I thought that was going with the cup. Oh, thanks, Jacob. Okay, let me think about this for a little bit. Let's do another question, then I'll think about a giveaway.
As you grow, there's obviously this is a very expensive space to get into, especially on the retail side. How do you plan to fund purchase orders and the future growth?
Great question. That is something I'm definitely working on. Up to this point, I'm 100% self-funded. No debt, which has been nice. But going forward, I am going to need investment for growth. But at this point, it'll be on orders that are already coming in. One thing that's nice about this industry, it's always 6 months ahead. So when I'm taking the orders or money for sales orders, I'll have enough time. They'll be prepaid, basically. So that money, that investment that I'm seeking, will already be for orders that have been placed. So I think that'll help a little bit.
Question in the second row to your right. So I don't know if other people are sensing this, but I'm feeling a little bit nebulous about where you're trying to get to and where you're trying to go. It's like, well, we don't really do men or women or college or, it doesn't feel very targeted to me. And maybe, I don't know if it should be, because I'm not in clothing at all. But I'm just kind of curious if you want to narrow that down or if you have, or because I don't know if I feel like walking out of here, I'm going to go, oh, Heartland Heritage. I know what that brand stands for or is, the same way I might know, like Gap, for instance.
So instead of drilling down on a market or a demographic, what we're really going to try to do through our imagery, marketing, and all that kind of stuff is really concentrate on the lifestyle piece of it. it's going to be more resonating with activities. So hunting, golfing, tailgating, if you're doing those activities, that's our market more than an age group. So if you're participating in this, lifestyle, then we're going to be your go-to.
Hi, my name's Catherine Ambrose. I love it. There's so much Southern pride, so I love the idea of Heartland pride. And I think your hello at Heartland Heritage is really cool. So I think you've got a really great idea here. Now, are you trying to brand all of these things like the Grizzly Cooler? Is that going to be branded as Heartland Heritage? Because I'm just wondering if there might be an idea where you could be a resource for all of these Midwestern states or Heartland states to just be a good resource to sell their products through.
I'm excited about those type of
that way
opportunities.
you're not spending, you're not creating these things.
Yeah. I'm really excited about those opportunities to co-brand things like the coolers going forward.
I think co-branding is a great idea because I think you've got something fun here.
And some of the brands like Southern or like Smathers and Branson, they are tied up in the South. They have products that cover all the Big 12 schools or SEC schools, but they really haven't tapped in and developed some of the Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska market. They haven't done a lot with the Big 12 schools. They're just getting into that market. So I think it'll be very beneficial, some of those co-branding products, not only for me, because they already have a big audience, but using Heartland Heritage as a gateway to kind of come into the Midwest.
With the last question, what can we as a Wichita community do for you?
Come see me Saturday, of course. Shop online. We've got a discount code 1MC20 at checkout, and that is good through Saturday. Saturday, you're going to have to come see me to get stuff, but that coupon code will be good at checkout. And then send me your ideas. I have an idea. I want to do kind of like a fishing shirt and a shooting shirt, combine it. If you guys have products that you've wanted to see or like a favorite shirt, anything like that, send it. And then help if you want. I need some great photography and I need feedback on products. So just hello at Heartland Heritage or one more? There. It lags one slide. That's my cell phone number. You can get me at lacy@heartlandheritage.co, hello at heartlandheritage.co, and then just connect on social media because it's going to get so much better. A little rough right now. The hardest part has been comparing my chapter 1 to Southern Tide's chapter 20. And it doesn't look the same yet, but we'll get there. So jump on in. It'll be fun.
Let's give a round of applause. All right, I'll do a quick giveaway for who can name our coffee sponsor. Raise a hand, go. Yes. There you go. You get a sticker. Who can name, let me see, what's a good one? Who can name our title sponsor? You got to raise your hand. There you go, Martin Pringle. All right, Ryan, come up and get this. You get a koozie. You get a koozie. Well, and so I want to thank our sponsors again, Reverie for the coffee, Martin Pringle for being our title sponsor this entire time, and also want to thank Distillery one more time for allowing us to have this opportunity to be in this space. And as a reminder, we're